We think that it's the best election ever because it gives you, as a large segment of the population of this planet, an opportunity to discover that it was never about them anyway. The Republicans do not create your reality, and the Democrats do not create your reality. We think it is the best election ever, and the outcome of it is irrelevant. They don't create your own reality. You do. But you can introduce a lot of resistance into your vibration by finding this or that or all of it to push against. They are not the vortex through which your well-being flows. They have minuscule influence on what happens to you. Your relationship with your own vortex, you're getting into your receiving mode. That's what influences what comes to you. The balance of your planet and all of its diversity is magnificent. And your nation and its politics are only a small spattering in the whole spectrum of all of that. If you can make diversity your friend, see it as a big buffet of many choices, and then you can become a purer, more deliberate, more personal chooser of your own thoughts. You don't even know what either of them really thinks, because you rarely have an opportunity to put it in the context of anything that is whole. Nothing is presented to you in a pure enough form for you to translate it with any effectiveness through your own physical senses. You've got to get it through your solar plexus. You've got to get it through your emotional center, you see. It's unlikely that either of them will be able to say enough to help you align.
So how do I participate in this? And if I'm going to be part of the election, or if I want to vote for somebody, or do I even vote? Do I separate myself completely from that?
Well, first, understand that you are always casting vibrational votes for everything that affects you. We would say, don't worry about it. We would say, don't suffer over it. We would say, don't push against it, and don't ever, ever, ever ask anything to be everything that you need it to be, and never, ever, ever attempt to give anything your whole support. That's like saying to someone, you need to be exactly what I need you to be before I can feel good. You are in deep doo-doo if that is what is necessary. This will help you to understand what the uncondition of your alignment is really about. Even those who signed those documents that are the basis on which you have founded your nation, they were not even in agreement with each other, even though they signed their names to those documents. But enough time has passed, and there was no social media for you to be up on every argument or everything that was uttered. And so time has sort of blurred your ability to understand the diversity that was present even in all of that. That was not a coming to a place of perfection from which your nation has been eroding and sliding away from ever since. It's all been and will continue to be in the process of becoming. And these people that have given so much of their life and time to get out there in order to gather the consciousness and help focus the consciousness, without exception, it would do well for you, your benefit, for you, to appreciate every one of them and the contribution they are making, even if you do not agree with what they are saying. You see, if you can give up on needing someone to be lovable before you love them, you will be free. If you would vote for every positive aspect you see on every side of the aisle, then you would be at least one who lines up with the vortex that you've collectively created, you see. Everyone who has lived is now non-physically focused and focused upon the well-being of what's going on here and now. There is a collective body of powerful creators and focusers who are not just rooting for your well-being, not just rooting for your survival, not only rooting for your joyous survival, but knowing with everything that we all are that it will continue to be, and that it will continue to be good to the degree that you as individuals allow it to be good. So rather than asking them to be what you need them to be so that you can flow your love, just flow your love and trust that law of attraction will find the outlet for which it to flow to, you see. You don't have to worry about these things. And it doesn't mean don't be informed. It doesn't mean don't have an opinion. Those opinions matter very much. Sift and sort and decide, but then just don't get all twirled up in any outcome that you cannot control. And if someone says, how are you voting? Just say, I'm voting for the happy ticket. Which one is that? It's both of them, really. I make lists of positive aspects of both candidates every day. And that will stop the conversation right then and there. When you talk about political things, Esther can talk as good a game as anyone. She really understands what's going on. In other words, she likes being informed, but she never, ever, ever gets into a political discussion with anyone that she doesn't get a knot in her stomach, because we don't come to the party. And when we're not at the party, Esther's used to us being at the party. She's used to infinite intelligence streaming through. And when she gets on a subject where she's all blocked off, where she's got herself all blocked off and asks for the energy to stream, but she's all blocked off, it punches her hard. And that's what makes you think we need to do something different. But the thing that you need to do that's different isn't find someone to open your valve. You do it.
The recognition that no one holds the power or the key to your vortex, that only you do. What this has been for most of you is an exercise of disempowerment. It's been a squabbling of who will help you do the thing that they were never meant to do and never will be able to do. It's a turning over your ability to lead your own life to someone else who couldn't possibly lead your own life. You could sit with each one of them and have a full year with every one of them, and you could not effectively convey to them who you are or what you want or need from them. And even if you did, they could not give it to you no matter how hard they tried, because they cannot understand your perspective. That is not a gift that they have to give you. You see, you are looking for righteousness and goodness and truth and justice in all the wrong places. Enjoy the game. Enjoy the game of it. You get fixated on the negative aspects of something, and it prevents you from ever seeing any positive aspects, even though there may be some. And so Esther decided to do something that she had decided not to ever do again. She decided to watch some of the political discussions to see if she could get past her own prejudices, to see if she could give anyone the benefit of the doubt enough to receive wisdom from someone that she had decided was not wise, to see if she could see past the decisions that she had already made. And she was so surprised, and won't even say it out loud to you, of the intelligence that she found in this one and 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 this one. There were harmony points all over the place that you don't want to speak out loud in a political arena. What it comes down to is you have a point of attraction, and your point of attraction is showing you what it is at all times. And as a mass consciousness, you have created something that now a lot of you are complaining about. And we don't think that it's too different from what's going on in your individual lives. You create things and then you complain about them. And it's time to no longer create them. It isn't that you want to stop complaining, because that would mean no longer enjoy the contrast, but accept your point of attraction and stop trying to make the way you feel someone else's fault. When you take responsibility for how you're feeling, then you have the benefit of moving yourself into harmony with what you really feel and what you really know. And when you do that, you will have that harmonic political process that you all right now feel so desperately that you are in need of. You can't continue to look at what is and flail about in your discomfort of what it's all come to and cause it to come to something different than what you are looking at, you see. And so many of you have wisely just withdrawn your attention from it. But if you're wanting to be of help to anything, no matter how close up it is to you or how far away it is to you, get into the receiving mode and give yourself the permission to find a positive aspect on somebody on the other side of the political spectrum. Because until you do that, you will never be in harmony with your inner being who loves them all. So just start deciding what you're for and start listening for evidence of that. And what you'll begin to notice is, in many cases, they start to sound like one another. No matter how far apart they are in their political views, they begin to start reflecting the sentiment of one another. And that really is the wonderful thing that's going on in this particular time, is that so many have become aware of what isn't working, that there is a vortex so powerfully inflated with what is wanting that there is an acquiescing to that. So it's not about the will of the people. It's not about the vote of the people. It's about the vibrational balance of the people. It always has been. And just because there's something that's a reflection of what's going on in the masses doesn't mean that it has to affect you unless you are one who always vibrates with the masses. You have the ability to be an individual advocate of your own well-being and others. You do not have to look at what is and let what is be the only reason that you broadcast and then receive. Isn't that an interesting thing? A whole big bunch of you all twirled up in focusing on what you don't want and broadcasting so much about what you don't want that all you're getting is more of what you don't want. And it's just getting louder and louder and louder and louder and louder.